is that just for maintenance?
After,
For just maintenance issues, not safety issues?
yeah, just emergency units, because we have safety down there 24/7.
Right.
So
Thank you.
if there are any safety concerns, you guys know to always report into security. Okay? So, let's start at 1.4 on page 3, occupancy. So what this is letting you know is that people, I'll just read this first paragraph because it's important. Individuals other than those named on your lease that are living or regularly staying in your unit are prohibited. Residents may not allow other persons to use their apartment or premises or receive mail, packages, or other purposes without management's prior written consent. To comply with RPMC's occupancy policy, guests may not stay longer than 3 days within a 10-day period. If you expect to have guests stay with you longer, you must notify the office and get prior approval. Residents may only host up to 2 individuals at a time. So what that's really saying is your name's the only one on the lease, so you're the only one who's allowed to stay in your apartment. We're not completely unnatural, so if you want to have somebody sleep over, you could totally do that. Just not more than 3 days in a 10-day period, okay? And no more than 2 people ever at once. Let's look at the security disclaimer. Management does not provide, guarantee, or warrant security. Management does not represent that your unit or rental community is safe from criminal activities by other residents or third parties. Residents are responsible for their own personal security and that of their household, children, and property. If you observe any suspicious activity or potentially unsafe conditions, please notify management. If illegal, immediately dangerous, or unsafe conditions are observed, or if a potential crime is suspected, call 911 first. Okay? So moving on to 1.7, this is the controlled access for safety. Because safety is an important aspect of rental housing, all residents are expected to exercise common sense in and about the premises. Post local police and fire department numbers as well as other emergency medical numbers near your telephone, and familiarize members of your household and family with the safety features of the premises and location to go through severe weather warning.
The house rules.
So from that, we're taking, ultimately, your security is up to you. Yes, we have a safety staff here. And yes, when they do see something, they will intervene. Also, you can let them know of incidents and they can intervene in those moments. They will decide if it's most appropriate to contact the authorities or if it's something that they can step in and help you do. Does that make sense to you all? Okay. Any questions so far? All right, awesome. So let's see. I feel like you guys are pretty good on maintenance requests. Everybody here knows how to do maintenance requests, right?
Yes.
Submit them. And even though we do have this 800 number for emergency maintenance, I don't know if you all know this, but because we do have safety downstairs 24/7, you can always go down there and let them know if you have an emergency request, and they can contact the emergency after hours number on your behalf for you as well. Emergencies are going to be lockouts, like if your toilet is flooding, if there's a fire, very serious, urgent matters, okay? And then let's take a look at safety in common areas on page 8, general building rules. Section 4 is the section that I wanted to go over the most with you all because these are the most frequent occurrences, okay? Safety in common areas. This building is only... 4, yes ma'am, on page 8. The page number, oh yeah, you got it, okay, perfect. This building is only as safe as you make it. Close and lock your doors at all times. Outside doors to the building and garage must remain closed and secure. Any patio or balcony door should be kept locked and secured when you are in your unit unless the patio or balcony is in use. This doesn't really apply to us, so I'm gonna skip down a little bit. Do not allow strangers or residents, guests, access to the building while you are entering or leaving the building. If you see any activity or loitering that looks suspicious, please contact the office, the police, or 911 at once. Bicycles, toys, and other personal properties must not be left on grass, sidewalks, stairwells, or in hallways. That's a big thing for us. So that really means nothing is supposed to be left outside of your front door. Every day when my maintenance tech comes in, he goes to every floor and he's gonna clear out what things are left in front of people's doors. So just wanna let you guys know, we're not gonna be providing warnings to that because it's just a fire hazard, number one, we're in a closed building. Sometimes it's a safety hazard, and if it's trash, it becomes a pest issue. So we're not trying to leave anything out there. Yes, Jesse?
I have a question about the letting guests in or whatever. There's a lot of people that forget their fobs that live in this building, so I don't know how to differentiate if they lost their fob or if they're actual resident or if they're a guest. Because like there'll be people that be standing by the door and they'll wait for one of us to use the fob to come in, and then they'll walk right by security. Like security won't even screen them or nothing, so I don't know.
Does that happen during the day? Or
That happens during the day, that happens during the night, that happens at all hours.
Okay. So I think a good rule of thumb, because that is a very good issue to bring up. When you're a new resident here, and even if you've lived here, you don't know all the new people moving in. So, I mean, it could be challenging to say, hey, no, you can't come in because you don't know what their mannerisms are going to be. But I would suggest if that happens, if somebody follows you in, stop by the security desk and say, hey, this person followed me in. I didn't let them in. And if security knows who they are, then, you know, they'll know they're a resident or not. If not, then they're going to call them over. That's the best thing that I think that you could do in that situation. Now, I do understand that sometimes it might feel uncomfortable, and I know a lot of people don't like to feel like snitches. So if that's the case, I would hang back, like if you see them walking that way, and then wait to talk to security and let them know, hey, this person followed me in. I don't know if it's a resident. I don't know if it's a guest, but you can judge for yourself.
Okay, and what if security is not present? Because there are times when there's no security down there.
Yep, that is true. If they go walk the building or if they're reporting on another issue or even just in the restroom, they might not be there. So if security isn't present, I know you're really good at making phone calls, Jesse.
Yeah.
So if anybody else is good at making phone calls when you get to your apartment, I would just call like, hey, somebody with a blue shirt just followed me in.
Well, that's the thing. Like, who do we call in that incident besides 911? There's just like no direct line to the security downstairs. So we'll have to go downstairs to even let them know.
There is a direct line, so let me give you that number.
Okay.
And I will do more about making that number more known for you all, okay?
Get back. Go for it, Jesse.
It is 303 312 9504. That is the security direct phone number. So you can call it directly anytime you need it, and somebody from security will answer. I know sometimes they don't answer the phone, but I have been telling all security guards when this phone rings, please answer it, okay? So I'm trying to get them all to start paying attention and not think that it's a business call, because it's not. They're calling you specifically on that phone, okay?
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, perfect. All right, it is not acceptable to loiter or obstruct sidewalks, stairwells, hallways, or general access areas. Hallways and common areas are for people coming and going into the building. Loitering, blocking these areas, or having conversations or making noise that unreasonably interferes with the use of enjoyment of an adjoining apartment is a breach of your lease agreement. So what that means for you all, what I want y'all to take away from that is, if you do hear noise, like if there's a noise complaint, somebody's being super loud, they're in violation of their lease. If we don't know it, then we can't hold them accountable. But if we know it, we can hold them accountable.
That kind of dangerous though.
Well, I'm not telling you to talk to them, okay?
I don't know what to do sometimes. I just make sure my door's open.
That's the best thing you can do for your personal
They knock on the
security.
door, oh, can you help me? I'm like, I don't know what's going on up there.
And that is something that happens a lot in this building. People, I know some residents do walk and knock door to door on different residents' doors. You don't ever have to open the door for anyone. If they need help, they can go down to security. If you feel or you're looking out your people and you think it's a really emergent situation, then there's no problem with you dialing 911 for them, but you don't have to ever go out and investigate on your own ever. And I highly do not encourage that. Also, if you don't feel like comfortable really making a report like that, we have forms downstairs in the lobby where they're called incident report forms. You can report incidents to us. The most important thing that we need to know so that we can go back and hold people accountable, date and time, because we're gonna go back and research the camera and we're gonna look at it and see what happened. And that's how we hold everybody accountable. You can report that anonymously or not, it's totally up to you. And it's just a safety incident form downstairs in the lobby that you can fill out, okay?
Okay. That applies to people that's loitering, like there'll be people that be loitering all around the halls. Like
Yes.
I have people that like for like 2 months straight kept knocking on my door and they don't even live on this floor. And it's like they purposely keep doing that. And then I'll see them like loitering on like the 8th or 9th floor, like when I do laundry or whatever.
Anytime you see that, you can report that to security and they need to go clear that out. They do. Now that you have their phone number, you can wait till you get in your apartment and feel safe and do that. And I would highly encourage y'all don't do it in front of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we never know how people are going to take anything. Okay. Let's not put our safety in jeopardy. So if we want to report something, wait till we get to our home, or you can fill out the report discreetly. Just make sure you get location, date, and time for us to match the events up for you. Okay.
Okay.
And then let's see, trespass list, okay? For those of you not aware, we have a trespass list. This list is for people who have violated our guest policy. They've either been snuck in, they caused a problem, they did something to break the rules, and they're on the trespass list. So to prevent any unauthorized persons on the property, we follow the guidelines below regarding trespass notices. Management and law enforcement officers may question any person in any common area of any building or parking lot or public area for any reason or for no reason. Persons questioned may be asked to show identification. Any person who cannot show that they are a resident or a guest of a resident may be escorted off of the property. Any person who is not a current resident who violates the lease agreement, resident handbook, or posted notices may be placed on the management's trespass list. Management also reserves the right to exclude residents, visitors, or guests if such guest is reasonably believed to pose a danger to the health, safety, morals, or quiet enjoyment of the property or employees. So that right there tells you that you are entitled to quiet enjoyment. That means you are able to live here without somebody consistently knocking on your door. And the only way we can stop that is by knowing who they are, okay? So it's important for us to know this information. Because then we're gonna hold them accountable in our HRC. For those of you who don't know what that is, yes, go ahead.
So a couple nights ago, I had a couple guys approach me and say that they'd give me $200 if I got them a phone. They had the money and everything for the phone, and all I had to do was walk into AT&T and get it. So I was like, yeah, I need $200, but I shouldn't have went with them because then they took me on the interstate and they were going like 90 miles an hour. Yeah, it was horrible. It made it sound like it was just right here, you know, like it was just going to be right down the block. And I was wanting people to be aware that because they were in a black car. I don't know the names. I don't know the plate number. But I told security the night it happened. It was a couple nights ago.
And it was right in front of the building?
It was right in front of the building. It was pulled up right in between the benches. A little bit after that pole. It's right there.
Did they give you?
They're still doing that?
And then I said, I'm not gonna, I said, actually, I feared for my life on the ride here, so I'm gonna find a different way home.
Good.
And then I asked somebody if he could, he gave me the $400, and I went to the store and asked, and I said, no, you have to order them online. So,
And it would have to be in your name properly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I want you guys to also know. Living at this property, you have to understand that sometimes you're gonna be targeted.
Mm-hmm.
And if people come up to you with unreasonable requests, I would highly advise you to just say no, thank you, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because they're coming here specifically. They see the traffic we have outside. They're not naive. So if somebody comes to you with an offer that sounds too good to be true, the best thing you can do is say no, thank you, and keep it moving.
okay.
I am so happy that you made
I
it
know,
out
I
of
thought I
that
was gonna die.
situation.
Seriously, it was
But
bad.
Yes,
I mean, he was going so fast.
that's scary.
I was screaming. I thought I was gonna die. I thought any second now he's gonna look away, we're gonna just go.
Catherine, excuse me,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what day did this happen?
it happened like 2 days ago,
2 days ago.
about 2 days,
Wednesday
2
night?
days ago.
Wednesday.
It was probably Wednesday night.
Okay, and do you know about what time?
I would say about 8 o'clock,
Thank you.
around, it was dark. I would say about that time, but
Okay. Thank
I
you.
know I was headed up to the store, so the store would have been open, it wouldn't have been
Right.
real late.
Right.
And Verizon was still open,
Okay.
so, but we were driving for about 20 minutes. But I kind of wanted everybody to know because I don't want people to fall for it, you know, and then get in the car and have something else happen.
Yes, and I'm just happy you made it back safely.
Yeah.
I do, I took the bus, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Thank God. I'm so happy.
And I saw 7-Eleven close by here, because I know they shut a lot of them down.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know there was that, I don't know where we were, so, that he was driving, but it was so scary.
It sounds very scary.
Yeah, and it was like, and when I was 3, he would go faster. So I think he was doing that to kind of get,
Yes, I feel like he targeted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He targeted you, chose you wisely. So now that you know that that happens, don't fall for that again.
yeah,
You say no, thank you, and it's okay. Yes, you'll need the money, but you don't need it that bad, because you need
No.
to stay alive.
yeah,
You need to be here for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us,
Uh-huh.
because we need to know that, and we're gonna look into it.
okay,
Okay?
Thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate that very much.
Yeah. I actually had that experience before.
Oh.
I wouldn't even respond to him at all. Like, I had that situation happen to me about 10 years ago. I was actually jumped at a 7-Eleven because I refused to do the phone thing with them. Yeah.
oh, shit.
So it seems like a popular scam that they're doing. And
Wow.
it sounds like it's been going on for over a decade.
Mhm.
Dangerous, very dangerous. So, okay, let's just hop back into this. So for trespassing, I'm just gonna give y'all the nuts and bolts of it. Depending on how severe the situation is, you could be trespassed for 3 months, you could be trespassed indefinitely, or some other time frame. It just depends on what you're doing. And the only way to get off the trespass list, well, not you guys, but people, you get trespassed here, okay? Because residents can't get trespassed,
Right.
okay? So, the only way to get off is that you're gonna have to write a letter, and you're gonna have to own up to whatever it is you did, and convince us why you should be removed off the list.
And usually, how long does that process take?
It could take anywhere from a couple of days to a week.
Mhm.
Because it's several parties involved. It'll be myself, safety, and, you know, we're gonna compare notes to if this person was trespassed at other of our properties too,
Mm.
and what they've done. We're gonna review all the behavior experience, and a lot of times when you get on that trespass list, you don't get off of that trespass list.
Mhm.
It just,
Oh, you don't get off.
So, like,
you're
for
on it.
instance,
Okay,
if
I
somebody
didn't know that part.
most times.
if somebody got trespassed over at the Fusion Studios, that would apply over here as well.
It depends on what they did. Sometimes it's severe enough that you're trespassed from all of CCH's properties. And
Oh.
sometimes you might just be trespassed from that
Property.
It depends on severity.
Okay.
Like for somebody who just like maybe snuck in and went to a resident's room,
Mm.
probably not trespassed from everywhere.
Okay.
But if you came here, you acted up and you made everybody feel scared, you're trespassed off of all of our properties, because we're not gonna wanna put any of our residents or staff into a situation like that ever again.
Okay.
And so if you're ever out of your home for more than 10 days, it's a good rule of thumb to let us know, okay? If you go out of your home for more than 10 days, that doesn't mean that somebody else can come and stay in your home and house sit for you, okay? You've got to get that approved in writing, and typically that's not something that we do here. So you would just let us know, and we would keep eyes out to make sure, you know, nobody's going into your apartment or nothing's happening there, okay? Now, here goes the juicy stuff. This is the most violations we get. Visitors. 4.4. Friends and relatives are welcome. However, you may not allow anyone to live with you without prior approval from management. Visitors are limited to no more than 3 days or nights in any 10-day period unless prior authorization from management has been obtained. That authorization is going to need to be in writing. It will never be just, oh, the property manager said that this person could live with me. That's never gonna happen. Our verbal words can never override your written lease agreement, so it would have to be in writing. Yes, ma'am.
I have grandkids and they don't let them school, what's that about?
Oh, good question.
And it's
So-
gonna be the holidays, so
So let me tell you how
they come
you,
all the way from Fort Morgan.
oh, wow, okay. With minors, minors can visit you, but they have to be with their parents.
So it's my son and his lady and my two grandkids, that's okay?
Yes, but like if it were just your two grandkids
Oh, no.
and they just dropped them, off, like
No,
that
no,
couldn't
no,
happen.
I know
The
that.
parents would always have to be present, so,
Okay, so
if-
that's cool?
yeah, that's fine. And if
Okay.
you get any pushback from security on that, then you let us know.
Okay, thank you.
But they should know, minors can come in with their parents.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so out of courtesy for your neighbors and other residents, all visitors are required to abide by the house rules. It is your responsibility to ensure that these rules are enforced. A resident must accompany guests when using the common area amenities. Loitering is not allowed in these areas. Residents are responsible for the conduct of their guests. Failure by a resident's guest to observe these rules could result in an adverse action against the resident, ranging from a lease violation notice, eviction, or assessment of charges for loss of damages caused by resident guests. So if you have a guest over here and your guest commits a crime while here, you're going to be held responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just be very wise about who you bring over, because I know some of our residents, they just willy-nilly bring people into their house, and when we talk to them later, they're like, I didn't know them, they just said they needed to use the bathroom.
Mm.
It's not okay just to bring somebody in to use the bathroom. I know you want to be good Samaritans, but that's kind of sketchy. We don't normally just let random people in our house to use the bathroom, you know? So just know that anything your guest does is on you. And especially if you've left your guests unattended to walk throughout the building by themselves, then anything can happen. So we just want to be very cautious of that. And if you all see any of that going on, please report it to us, because no, we do not allow that. Smoking is not allowed in common areas, including the garage. That's for those of you who don't know. You can smoke in your apartment, you can smoke outside. This area is not for smoking either, okay? This patio area, we don't allow smoking here, but you can smoke outside or in your apartment.
Also not in the elevators.
Never in the elevators, but that happens more than you believe. Yeah, that happens often for an interesting reason. Animals. No animals are allowed, even temporarily, anywhere in the apartment or apartment community unless authorized in writing for reasonable accommodation purposes. Hi, Angela. Companion animals or service animals must have all appropriate paperwork. There you go, Miss Angela. Okay. Must have all appropriate paperwork. Please contact your property management regarding the policy at your community. With minor exceptions such as small fish tanks, ownership of any animal requires prior written consent and meeting other animal requirements at the applicable rental community. So what does that mean? That means that if your friend outside has a dog or a cat or something like that, you can't let the cat stay. You can't let the cat visit, nothing like that. We don't allow animals who are not
I
service
can't dog
animals.
sit,
Huh?
I can't dog sit.
You cannot dog sit.
Okay, I did that.
Yes, so
Okay.
didn't get caught. Don't do that, okay? Can't dog sit, can't cat sit, can't pet sit, okay? And if you yourself need to get an animal, the only way you can get an animal is by getting a reasonable accommodation, okay? Because we don't allow pets here, so any animal you see here is not considered a pet. It's considered a companion animal or a service animal, okay? And so if that's something that you're interested in obtaining, you're gonna work with your case management team and they're gonna help you get a reasonable accommodation. The reasonable accommodations need to be approved before you are to ever bring said animal into the property, okay?
Sorry, I'm like, that's maybe today's my birthday, my
Oh,
family are back.
guilty.
Happy
You
birthday!
guys can give me my son.
Oh, happy birthday, neighbor.
Is he here?
No, he's on, like, they're on the way now.
Oh.
They came earlier, but obligations, he's 14, he's adopted, but yes, and then they went to the zoo, they're on the way back. So
I'm so happy to hear that.
they allowed me to.
Well, happy birthday,
Aw.
Angela.
Yeah, happy birthday, neighbor.
I would love to meet your children when they come back, okay?
The only one, but he was adopted, Mom, but he's 14, so you guys shouldn't be done, and he'll be downstairs.
Okay.
Everyone else already knows.
So you heard that,
Okay,
Lady
we can't
Chain.
wait. We can't wait. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to
It's okay. Thanks for letting us know. Are you sure you don't want to stay and listen to the
Well,
roll?
I gotta go down and meet them.
Okay. All right. We'll have another meeting so we can get a better turnout, bigger turnout.
Happy birthday.
Bye, Kevin. So also, at the last minute, I got a property manager meeting scheduled for me, so I'm gonna actually have to leave. I'm gonna ask Megan if you can finish this off. for me.
Yeah, I got a question too.
I was just gonna end at step 4, but if you guys wanna take a break, we could continue, next week, but I was just gonna end at section 4.
Yeah, let's just continue next week.
You guys wanna continue next week?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do this again next week and we'll work through the whole packet, so bring your packet with you, okay?
I need your signature as well.
Okay, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. We're gonna get fully knowledgeable, and I hope that you all learned something about the property today.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have to go find
If you
it.
ever have any questions, you can come to the office and ask us, okay?
Okay.
And I'll see y'all next Friday. Well, I know you said you're not gonna come next Friday, but maybe okay, I'll try to have some snacks next week for y'all. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you all. Have a good day.
You too.
We'll fill in your public relations piece to this.
Okay.
We have no working, so we can have to deal with that. We're also not a student, no.
Yeah, so I can tell her unless I get prior notice. That's the only way I can have her. The cats are good. My case manager already said the cats are good. But the dog, I can't have her there. Yeah, attend a meeting. Yeah, they had to go, they want to go over the house rules with us. You know, most people don't read the lease and stuff when they move into one of these places. They already answered the question. But you got to get the paperwork. So my case manager's working on getting the paperwork for the cats. So the cats are good. It's the dog that's the issue. We gotta get the paperwork for the dog. The dog has to be a service animal or service companion. So you gotta get that paperwork. So you're gonna have to hit up Essence or somebody and tell them, hey, look, I need reasonable accommodation for the pets. And once you have that paperwork, then I can have her here. But without all of that, I can't have her here. And my case manager said they only allow you to have 2 pets. So the 2 cats or the 2 pets. Thank you, Michael. The dog's an issue because it's not, I didn't notify them of the dog. And I didn't notify them of the situation. So that's why the dog's the issue. I can only have 2 pets. That's what my case manager told me earlier. I already asked my case manager the question. So it's like beating a dead horse asking them that, Lady J. My case manager already knows the situation. That's why they said you can keep the cats, but you can't keep the dog. And once you just the same one that was telling me not to talk to them at all, now you want me to ask more questions. Make up your mind. Like, I don't understand. I'm trying to explain it to you. Like, I can't have the dog here. I'm jeopardizing my house and by having a dog here. My case manager already told me all this stuff before we even had the meeting. See, this is right here. If you live in a permanent permitted, you must notify the office to register your animal. Khalifa, what are you doing, girl? Let's authorize you right in reasonable accommodation purposes. Companion animals or service animals must have all appropriate paperwork. Please contact your property manager regarding the policy at your community, with minor exceptions such as fish tanks, ownership, and animal of any animal prior written consent, and meeting other animal requirements at the applicable rental community. Residents are not permitted to bring animals to the property or have visiting animals without management's prior written consent. If you live in an apartment where animals, there's nothing to turn around and ask them. It's like literally right here in writing. I don't know what you want me to ask them that I didn't already ask them. We're commonly law married, but we don't have paperwork that says that we're married. So again, you gotta have paperwork to prove all this stuff. They're not gonna take it serious if you don't have no paperwork. And you're not on the lease, so I can't. No, it doesn't work like that. That's what I keep trying to tell you, but you're not understanding what I'm saying or what they're saying. I can't have the dog here. You're responsible for supervising your animal, complying with any animal rules, and or costs or damages that disturbs other residents will be grounds for management to ask you to get rid of your animal or be in breach of your lease. And these house rules, animals are not allowed in the common areas or grounds of the apartment community other than entering and exiting property and in designated areas on lease. I am listening, Lady Shay. You're the one that's not listening. I went over this with you already before we even had this meeting. I told you I can't have the dogs. I can't have all these pets. It's a violation of my lease. I've been telling you that. I have to give them written consent, and you don't have the paperwork to verify if this is a reasonable accommodation or a companion animal, so or a service animal. So you got to get that paperwork before I can do any of that. That's what you're not listening to. You're saying that you want them to make an exception because we're a married couple and you're real sick, and what you have covers me on your voucher in my house since we're to be forced to live like this. What I'm telling you is they don't care about none of that. If you don't have the paperwork to back up what you're saying, then it's not gonna work. That's what I'm saying. So I can tell them that all I want, they're not gonna hear it because it's a violation of the house rules. You don't have the paperwork to back this up about the reasonable accommodations. So you need to work on getting the paperwork so I can have a case to bring to them. Because otherwise I look stupid saying, oh well, these are my lady service animals and I have nothing to prove that. That's what you're not understanding. That's what you're not listening to. But I'm about to end this live, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Join us tomorrow for Frontline Black News, season 5, episode 51, part 1. So peace, love, light, reparations, separations, and delineations in Black empowerment. Nkrumah signing out. Peace.